business of yoga wellness. But any business you can apply this. But let's talk about how to get into making income with this practice, because it's important for you to be prosper with these practices. That way you can just live from this and you don't need to have other jobs and fragment yourself in different areas. You can absolutely just live from this yoga and wellness practices, which will be ideal because that way you will be, so much focus and so much going deeper and deeper. Remember, in the Mahayana big vehicle of Buddhism, the more that you share is the more that you become enlightened. So it's a little bit that's what we are doing as well. So, right. First way to make income with yoga will be private classes. This is the best way, really. Private classes are going to be custom made to the needs of that student particularly. That's why when someone needs a private yoga instructor, you should definitely be asking all the questions that you usually do about how you're feeling, do you have any injuries, or simply what is the reason. And the person, when you invite the conversation, they might share with you, I have insomnia, I had a heart attack, and apparently I'm too stressed. They told me that yoga is to calm the mind, and you can listen and adopt the class for that. We mentioned Iyengar book that he has all those kind of sequences already prepared for us on the path of holistic yoga. And when you teach a private, you will be bringing everything. Like I go with a car and I will have 2 bolsters, 2 mats, blocks, belts, blankets. I also bring a very small Tibetan bowl and a little bit of sound, maybe even aromatherapy, like I call VIP service, right? So those private classes are really well paid. In the beginning, when I just launched myself as a teacher, I gave everybody free classes so I could feel confident myself. And after 1 month of giving free classes, I told my friends, okay, now it's by donation, maybe $30 or whatever. And then after 2 months, I start charging, like very cheap compared, it was like $50. And then after, another 2-3 months, I'm like, okay, now I feel really good. And I start charging basically like between $90 and $100. I actually did $108, but not everybody was understanding that. So I ended up doing $100, which has been for 10 years the same price. So that would be one class, but how much it is if you buy 10 classes in advance, right? So you can make little packages like that. Like you can say, okay, each class is 100. Usually, we don't even conceive 1 hour yoga. It's always going to be an hour and 15, an hour and 20, and according to the needs of that student, an hour and a half. Be counting the minutes, right? Because you want to present a wellness experience. And sometimes it needs to be a little longer. Or sometimes they will tell you, no, I actually have a meeting and I need to go. And you're like, okay, I respect your time and your request, right?
So the price is per session, not hour.
Per session, right? And so then if they get amazed, usually what happens is they really, really like, and then you say, okay, well, one class is 100, but if you buy 10 classes, you get $100 discount, and it would be 90. And very common, you get $900 right there. Boom, very common. And if you think about it, all you need is 3 of those for you to be
Good. Yeah.
peace of mind. Your rent is paid, your food is paid.
Mhm.
You're good. You're good. Right? You don't need to stress about money. Oh my God, because that's another cross that we need to carry. And, sometimes it's heavy. So you need to give the best class ever, really, with everything, all your love, all your maternal energy, great meditation, great recharge, and the person will be like, wow, that was great. Yeah, and then you need to have, because business is business, you need to have some layouts of guidelines. So back in the days, I used to have like a punch card, which you can also do it as well, but now everything is digital, right? So then they will receive the payment, guide classes, and then they will get an email with the guidelines of their package. And the guideline could be, okay, maybe 10 classes, maybe you have 12 months
Mhm.
to use the 10 classes once a month. It's transferable, perhaps. You can give as a gift. Let's say your best friend is birthday and you want to give a private class to your friend under your card, that's fine. Then you also need to be talking about cancellation policy. For example, if you make appointment with me tomorrow at 2 p.m., you only have until today at 2 p.m. to reschedule maybe, like 24 hours. I think 24 hours, not the ideal. Some people even do 2 days because it's hard for you to get a job the next day.
Yeah.
So I already booked myself, I already prepared my day around that appointment, now you change. So you can even put 72 hours. You need 2 days in advance to change or cancel. That's going to be up to you. I don't like to upset people. In my experience, people have situations, but you see how that goes. Here, for example, if someone wants to book an appointment, let's say a Reiki yoga, and it's like, let's say, $120, they need to pay deposit, and that's $25. So with $25, I put you in my appointment calendar, and you are set. If something happened, and you cannot make it for X reason, you need to give me, let's say, 24 hours in advance, and we reschedule. We have people that, massage yoga is at 2 p.m. and they are calling you at 1 p.m. to reschedule. I'm like, no, you're going to be charged for the full amount because now I lost the opportunity to see another patient, another student, and my time is valuable. So all that must be in writing. What is your, rules about that? Or you can say, okay, I don't charge you because I didn't give the class, but I don't give you the deposit back. Deposit's mine, you lost it. So what I have done is like, maybe 24 hours in advance, cancellation within 24 hours, I keep the deposit. But if they cancel, let's say, 3 hours before the appointment, I will charge you for the full amount because you are stealing my time to be able to maybe focus in giving someone else a service. So I will cross one of those classes, So I was teaching this brain surgeon doctor for a long time, and he was a regular, and he paid constantly thousands and thousands of dollars in private. So sometimes I would be like, no problem. But sometimes I'm like, I'm so sorry, I understand you had a surgery, an emergency, but if you cancel at 1 p.m., our appointment is at 3 p.m., now I'm out of work and I'm already drove here or whatever. So he will be fine, no problem.
Is that hard
I
to,
understand.
I feel like that has to be so
A
hard
little
to,
bit, that's why it's better to have it in writing.
Yeah.
So when they get that email, all those are there already, right?
Yeah.
And every time that they use one of the sessions, they will say, okay, thank you for sharing wellness with me. You have 8 classes left. So that can be all in an auto email somehow. You can also have a follow-up email, right? How you feeling? Let me know. Don't forget to keep yourself hydrated and eat well, rest well.
Buy demo sessions.
Yeah. Well, and so in order for you to start promoting yourself and getting private classes, so those more or less are like privates. In the yoga schools, you can have like a flat fee, depending on the place, the bigger fee. Here we give like around $10 for babies if they help to do the sign-in, and $5 per head. So if you have 7, 8 students, you're making around 40, 45, 65, depending how many students are coming. But if you have 3 students, now you're making not, $20. So it's very basic, let's say. So we want to incentivize the teachers to help to promote the classes with us, and of course, not subbing the class, being charismatic, all that will help to build the class. Some other places, for example, they will pay you $20 base and then $3 per student. Or they will pay you flat $40 no matter if you have 1 or 50 people. Or some gyms even pay less, like I think LA Fitness pay like $20 per class and maybe $1 per head. So now you need to have 20 students to make 40.
Yeah.
So it has different
So
structures.
privates is where we need to be told.
But you want to
We need to
do
get in.
all group classes. People invited to teach, you always going to say yes. Because you need to expose yourself and you need to gain confidence. So you say, yeah, I go, and teach for free to your friends. You know what I mean? In the park, and this and that. As a matter of fact, my first yoga class was in the park.
Can I ask you something? But can you teach in a public area or you need a permit?
Right, so when I was teaching in this
You
flamingo,
can't.
Oh, we did it the other day.
I know
So
that in
everybody-
New York you can, in Jersey City you cannot. So it depends on the state.
no, basically you cannot charge money in the property of the city without city's consent.
So you can do for free.
You can do for free by donation.
Ah,
You
okay.
don't charge.
Ah,
If they
yeah.
want to give me something, that's fine. That's how we do the full moon, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
free. And then we ask some donation because she has 2 kids. Just the sound equipment was $1,000.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you have people that goes in $1.
Yeah, that is
Mhm.
very cheap.
But donation is
for your
donation.
donation.
Yeah, donation is donation. Whatever. But sometimes we say, okay, suggested 5. But you want to expose yourself, and go teach in different gyms and yoga schools, and start the more experience that you have, the also better practice. And most of the time when we are in a group class, like let's say here, and you have that person that is super stiff, super beginner, doesn't understand anything, very much stressed out, that is your private person. That is a perfect person to say, hey, I also offer private sessions if you want to do a few just to get a little more comfortable. And they usually think that is a good idea, and they actually do take. But what I was going to say is that, and I forgot mine, I will bring it tomorrow, but you need to have some materials to start getting business. It's called marketing. So first piece that you will have is a business card. So in your business card, and I will bring the one that I have from 15 years ago. It's in my house. So my first business card was, I will show tomorrow, a picture of me doing pigeon pose in the back. In the front, I put a quote from Swami Shivananda that says, serve, love, give, purify, meditate, realize. That was the quote of my business. Incorporate Hatha, Vijnana, restorative. Well, I do end up, back in the days, Thai massage, and phone number and email. And that was it. Now, it's a little bit different because we are more in the digital world. So everything is like more digital. So I will pass you two. I have one is my, business cards from here, very business-like with logo. And this is one that you might want to have because this one you pass it around. You don't put your QR code. And you can check and that people can go there and follow you on your links. Instagram and email and everything is there. So you need to have a business card. Now, you have two ways to do everything. You do it yourself, which is cheaper, or you hire someone to do it for you, which is a little bit more, right? One place that you can design that actually exists until today is called Vistaprint.
Oh, yeah.
You go there and they have the layouts and you just put your info and it's done. And it's like literally $5, $10, and you have your business cards. There's no excuses not to have it, you need to have it. And with these business cards, guys, I am, I'm like a, how do you say? Papagayo? Like a parrot, yeah. I will be promoting yoga, man, in everywhere I go. I mean, in the laundry, in the bank, and
I've been talking to my Uber drivers.
Yeah!
I do yoga.
They drop me off here and they pick me up and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the teacher training and yoga and they're like, well maybe when you're done, like you can teach me. And I'm like, yes.
Here's
My
my
business
card.
card.
So you need to have that business
And I thought
card.
I didn't have the business card.
Yeah. So now with the QR code is a little bit more fun because I don't give this. They scan and it's more eco-friendly in a way,
Yeah.
But I do like to handle business.
I think both
But
are
Yeah.
good.
if you do private, do you do it as an individual or do you still do it through your LLC or through a company? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can do it for your company for sure.
Oh, better, right?
Yeah, it's better for your taxes.
Taxes.
Yeah.
I just got my social, so
I
I don't want everything I get to be taken
There's
away.
stuff that I don't even know.
Okay, but let me.
One
You
thing.
can hold your questions to the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because otherwise sometimes I lose my.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Vistaprint, you said, is a good place to put ourselves.
Vistaprint is $10. So I'm giving you like easy. Of course, you can make a more. I think this business card, this dot that is more fancy with the QR code, cost me $20. You go to the website dot, you order, and then you just put the links. And then every time, like I go to a convention, and they just scan. You know, something like that.
Also Canva, you can.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I did before
What's it called?
some flyers.
Canva.
CANVA. It
Like
has
canvas,
hundreds
but
of templates.
Yeah, this is how we make our flyers.
Yeah, that's very good for flyers
And presentations.
It's really nice.
For sure. So I was like on Whole Foods line and I'm talking to a guy and I'm like, yeah, your shoulders, maybe you can bring your shoulder a little more back. And he's like, oh, you're doing yoga teacher? I was like, yeah, I have I do classes here, a block away. Here is my card. And then he's like, oh, you also do Thai massage. I'm like, yes, sir. I also do Thai massage and I also do Reiki. That's why you also want to have sound healing therapy, Thai body work, Reiki, all your, wellness recipes, offerings there. And so, yeah, he came and he did a yoga and he did a massage, and then usually you need to get a deposit, just to be formal. I did not, and in the end, it was a package, and he got $2,000, 10 massages and 10 classes from the line on Whole Foods.
So guys,
So,
chilling in Whole Foods, okay with the cart walking around.
With bad posture.
no, yeah, I actually was looking for someone, and I had a beautiful Brazilian girl in Whole Foods giving first time free yoga in exchange
Oh,
of emails. So that's your first little piece of thing, a business card, right? And then the other thing that you need to have is a website, right? Because your website is your virtual shop. And that's where everybody is going to find you and read about you. So let's build one now.
Right now?
Yeah. So the first step would be about you. First step, about you. What is going to be in about you is your biography. So that's your homework. Please include us. You need to put everything that you learned until now. Even if it's something that doesn't have to do a lot with yoga. Maybe I have a degree in nurse, I have a degree in administration, I have a degree in law, and throughout the years I became a spiritual seeker, and now I am a Yoga Alliance certified yoga teacher, and I also am a Reiki master. And also, by the way, you write your bio in third person. Don't talk I, like you're telling the story off, right? And you can definitely look at outside here in the bathroom. We have different kinds, and in our website. And then you will have two kinds of bios, or even three. One will be full on, like your whole biography with all your certifications. They can be literally half of a page, or I don't know how many certifications you have, maybe one page, right? And then another bio will be a more compact and short, because when you write maybe articles for magazines or things like that, they're not going to have a whole page put your bio there. They're just going to put a few words. And even if you look at the flyers, now we have like the Costa Rica retreat, by the way, where we'll do some business propaganda. But you can see that our bio is very short. A few words. And then if you don't want to read the full bio, okay? So you can have different versions. So first, write a full biography. That was going to be the first step. Who am I? You can even play with them in tabs. Who am I? About me, bio, And then the second tab on your website will be about your services or healing offerings or holistic menu. Again, name the way you like, but it's services. And now you're going to write everything that you learn here and everything else that you do know. So you can do, private and corporate yoga sessions. Private will have the description is custom made to your needs. Corporate, we also do team building and mindful games to build connection with the employees. You can offer prenatal yoga. You can offer the hatha vinyasa, when you make more push-ups, more vinyasas, more core, you can call it power yoga, or you can call it detox yoga, and just put, the more that you sweat and the more that you twist, right? You can focus on yoga for back pain, yoga for anxiety, yoga for depression. So all those are services. All those are services that you can do, right? You can do, if you did now the next training with Patty is on April, meditation and sound healing. We offer here this twice a week. You can, you name it.
Yeah.
If you know about, you can create a vegan menu and you can offer vegan cooking classes. Like we also did that. Actually, to that same brain surgeon doctor, I sold him $1,000 package of teaching how to cook for him and his son.
Oh.
And then I came up with some dishes, and then I sent Patricia, and she went there, and we even charged extra because to go get the groceries. They say, okay, if either you buy it or I buy it, but that's fine. Come with us. So you have all ads on, ads on, right? So many things can be there. Things that you feel comfortable, You can have senior yoga, chair yoga, yoga for injuries, you name it. Like, just grab what you learn here and put different names. Family yoga, partner yoga, yoga for lovers.
Mika's gonna be all on that.
Yeah, I think it's like writing all the names.
I like the prenatal and the partner
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
and cooking.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm
I
so
love
sorry.
it. I think I need the cooking class before I can get into the cooking class.
Okay, so you got the idea, right?
Yeah.
Now you need to have also way to receive money and way to make appointments, right? Because it needs to be functional for you. So if you're in Florida, you open company on a website called somebiz.gov. You can have accountant, but this is in Florida.
That's okay.
Somebiz, some and B-I-Z, .com, I think. And, no, 1 second. First you go to GoDaddy.
Get a domain.
First you go to GoDaddy.com and you look if the name is available. You can use your name, elisayoga.com. You can use Shanti on Elisa Yoga.
Nice.
You also is good to have keywords of the demographics that you are. Let's say Elise New Jersey Yoga. Because then people type New Jersey Yoga and your website will come up. That's called search engine optimization, SEO. We'll get to that in a moment. But you need to find a name. Your name or X name, sunmoonyoga.com, yogaforall.com, yogabliss.com, whatever. Then, okay, you found names you like, let's say anandayoga.com. And you're like, okay, love that name is available, you buy it. Go get $3 a year, I think it is, maybe $5. Because you just get the name and then you can choose hosting with them, and they also have a website builder, very easy to use. All you gotta fill up the layouts.
Did you make your own website or?
I trade for 10 massages.
Nice.
Fair.
Nice. Look at this, all the names.
Yeah.
I was coming.
I already started to build my
Yeah.
website
Yeah.
with WordPress.
But it's
perfect.
I used WordPress
Yeah.
when I had trouble.
I'm already on that.
WordPress, now in Synergy we have a Shopify, which is like e-commerce, which is meant to sell.
Yeah.
Anything that you feel comfortable,
The
But anyhow,
Sorry, e-commerce is for what?
to sell
To
things.
sell products.
Is a commerce commerce
Oh, okay.
website, yeah.
Do
to
you
sell
think it's
stuff.
better to make your own website or hire somebody to do
It
it for
depends
you?
how skilled you are.
Right, depends if you, look, if you don't have money, you don't have money, but if you have money,
Yeah.
it's better to delegate some tasks. And you can go to even, Upwork or Fiverr
Oh, yeah.
and get a freelance.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Try not to contribute too much to slavery, and because people will be charging $3 an hour for their work.
Mhm.
You know, from India and Philippines and Venezuela, maybe trying to pay something more decent,
Yeah.
8, 9, 10. But again, $10 an hour is with my website. So the one that I have a new one, which is Synergy Shrooms. I have a line of mushrooms, functional mushrooms. I will bring it in a moment. And so that one, I pay $150. Like I choose the design, and then once I couldn't do it anymore by myself, then I hire a guy to, put some of the plugins and shopping carts or whatever. But that was very affordable. Anyhow, so once you get the name, okay, now you know the name, anandayoga.com is available, you buy it, it's yours, then you go back to somebiz.com and now you open a company. Now you can also have an accountant to open a company, or you can do it yourself. As always, it's going to be like this. You will put the address, and if you are alone, it's better to have a S corporation, a sole corporation, that you pay less taxes than an LLC, pay more taxes. Again, you can definitely have an accountant. My accountant charges $150 for individuals, $300 for companies. Not that bad.
200 per hour or per task?
For putting together. Yeah. For a feeling, yeah. So if you do it yourself, which is very easy, you again, who is the director? You are the director, you're the owner, you're the CEO, maybe your mom's house is the address where the company is registered. It's $150. Once you open the company with $150, then with those articles of incorporation, you go to the bank. And now you open a business account for your money. And then with that, you can open a PayPal account link with your business account. So under each service, you can put a PayPal button or pay. Now you can put Apple Pay and PayPal and all kinds of credit card payments, and it will go to your business account, the money, right? And there you can also put all the things that we already spoke. Let's say you can even make it even harder. Like one class is $150, but if you buy 10 classes, it's $900. So you cannot direct people to get packages and give them 2 years to use. I don't know. I mean, 1 year is fine. But you see what I'm saying? Like, make it easier for people to get packages. And then a little small deposit. You want an appointment Friday at 5 p.m., so it's $25 to make that appointment. The appointment can also be linked with Google Calendar, or has other called Calendly, things that there are plugins like apps that you can put in the website, and there's all kind of link up. You will get the email notification, you will get the reservation someone paid, and it's all squared up. All right? So the whole write the questions, and because otherwise we'll not even.
Yeah.
And then I'll answer all of them. The next step is called my favorite, retreats. Now, retreats is one of the best ways to make income. Best ways to make income. Because, first of all, usually I choose places that I personally want to go. Like now I'm looking to Greece because I never been to Greece. So therefore I want to go to Greece. Might as well do a retreat, get everything paid, and get my vacation as well. Alright? And then eventually you get maybe very comfortable with the allocation. I've been doing my Machu Picchu, Peru, for 12 years consecutive.
Wow.
The only time that we didn't travel was the lockdown. But other than that, every year we go. And I love it. I also did teacher trainings in Lima for many years. So I have students that are like family, and everybody's like a family. And Machu Picchu and the Inca energy is Pachamama. So I gotta say, now after 12 years, it's like, okay, here we go again. But it's not going to complain. It's a wonderful work, you know what I mean? Okay, here we go, Machu Picchu again, yay! Been here before, but I love it, you know?
Did you climb the whole thing or you took a train and a bus?
No, we go in the bus, yeah.
Oh, I walked everything.
Yeah, that's great, wonderful.
I died.
Yeah. So yeah, you can decide where you want to go. I will recommend the first ones to be local. Like with Patricia, we did a retreat in Homestead.
Yeah.
There was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Has a place in Florida called Kashi Ashram. Kashi Ashram. I wanted to do a yoga, meditation, and surf retreat there because it's near where Kelly Slater was born, and Kelly Slater is the king of surf. King of surf. So up north has bigger waves, got a surf school, you know, do the tour. But the ashram is beautiful and has all kinds of different lineages, you know, integral yoga, so, you know, you can rent a cabin. But you can do it, you know, Colorado, North Carolina, so try to test the area somewhere local that is not too complicated. After you feel comfortable with that first experience, then you can go overseas. When you go overseas, you definitely also want to have a place that is not too far, because flying to Morocco is not the same than flying to Jamaica, right? It's a 2 hours flight, that's like 7 hours, and then the ticket is $1,000. The way to do the retreat is first you get the cost. So you're going to, you can work with a travel agency, which is going to charge you more money, or you can directly contact yourself, the hotel and the restaurants and all that. Usually in my retreats, everything is included but the airfare. So the moment they arrive there, they have the pickup from the airport, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all vegan, gourmet food. And I tell them, you know, you are in Peru, you are in Mexico, you want to have some of your ceviche, of your fish, not in my build, feel welcome to, no problem, honestly, go and let me know so that I don't order food that evening for you, and you can have your free dinner and go somewhere else and eat the food that you want. But don't, you know, no problem, just let me know, you know. But the food, usually the food is gourmet and vegan, it's so tasty and so good that you don't even need and want to eat anything else, honestly. And people brag about the food, like, oh my God, remember the food. Because, you know, you can cook vegan really, really good. So then you come up with the cost. So let's say, for example, the hotel is $60, $70 a night, plus you have another $30 of food, plus you're doing like a tour, you know, a city tour or anything, a boat ride, maybe it's another, you know, 50. And then you come up with like a daily cost. Let's say you are spending, I don't know, around 150 more or less a day. That is, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. That is like $600. That's your cost. That's what you need to pay for each person. You're going to sell that double. Right? So you're going to sell it $1,200, $1,500, $1,800. So the more days, the more expensive. And also the places. Some places are literally luxury. Like the place that we're going to, Costa Rica and Jamaica, they are luxury places. They're like really like mansion level. And the one for Costa Rica is even more amazing because it's all based on Fibonacci sequence. So it's all sacred geometry. Everything is bamboo
Where?
in Costa Rica. It's called Brave Earth, and you can look it up. It's really beautiful. So yeah, I have been in Peru, more affordable hotels. Our retreat in Peru for many years was like, 1,500, 1,700. That was my prices for in years. I think it went up a little bit, so now I went up, $100, $200. But it's still like 1,700, 1,800. So you make yourself double or more of, and you can even make $1,000 per person, more or less, depending on, what you look for. If you look really well, you can find places that are quite affordable actually, to eat and stay and very nice decorated, right? And so, if you have 15 people having fun doing, usually in the retreats we have yoga before breakfast, yoga before dinner. If it has places to visit like archaeological sites like in Peru, we have tours, visiting here, visiting there. If you are, let's say, in Costa Rica, then you're more eco-friendly, like surf classes, horseback riding, waterfalls visit. So every day you will have little tours. You can also have special workshops inside your retreat, like you will give a lecture in chakras, perhaps, or maybe full hour of yoga nidra meditation or whatever it is that you want to do. So the whole day activities. And also, sorry about that, you have free time. Free time. So especially after lunch, let's say you have lunch 1, so you have maybe free time 2 to 4. Let them breathe, let them go to the hammock, let them go to the pool, let them take a nap, let them read a book, because it's also their vacation time. So yeah, you want to have some times of non-doing as well. But basically everything is programmed, you have, that's what we send to people that are interested in retreats. We send them a itinerary of activities. And another thing about the retreats is that you always want to do it with someone for sales and marketing purposes and for safety. Safety is number 1. So when I did this other Costa Rica retreat like 5-6 years ago, a week before the retreat I broke my toe. I think I told you that I was teaching with a boot. That my verbal commands were really polished because, hey, I have a broken toe. So it's good, I will be doing all the pranayamas, all the meditations, all the nidras, and my friend was doing all the movement and vinyasa flows, right? Because, it's 1 week before the retreat and it's sold out. We gotta go, right? But also for safety in general, for example, in Cusco, which is high altitude, we definitely don't bring alcohol use in any of the retreats. Some people do sneak out and they're like, okay, it's my vacation, I want to have a glass of wine, and we're like, okay, we're not babysitting anyone, everyone is adult. But when you have, especially high altitude, so I was with my friend, and one of her students that was a senior lady, she ate, I don't know if it was fish or meat, and we didn't have 1 glass of wine, had many glasses of wine on her free time, and then she got sick. She got very sick because of the high altitude, which we were told many times not to do. Well, can happen. So they did it, she got sick, and she was with a lack of oxygen, so she also needed to have oxygen, and because of the high altitude, she didn't digest anything, so she was throwing up, and with lack of oxygen, So, and we are with 18 people, right? So my partner said, as your student, you stay with her. So she needed to stay with the lady, until she composed herself. We brought her to the clinic to give her oxygen and, to be able to bring something so she could digest and feel better. And I continue with the 17 people because we had dinner plans with a dance show. All the typical dances of Peru. And we have dinner at 8, and this woman is sick at 6 because she had this heavy lunch on her free time. And so that's why it's good to have a partner, because if something happened, one person takes care of that emergency and the other person takes care of the retreat, right? And even can happen with you. Let's say you're going down the waterfall and you twist your ankle, God forbid, hopefully not, right? Then what happens with the retreat? It's over. No, that's your partner there that will continue. And also helps with the cells. So the cells, it needs to be somehow even. Like, let's say I partner with Yana, I say, okay, let's do this retreat together. Like I do a lot with Patricia, for example. And we have an understanding, like, we go half and half, even though maybe I bring 10 people and she brought 6. That's okay, because she maybe help a little bit more, on managing the menu or the kitchen or doing the, some of that. Or sometimes the other way around. Maybe you brought 6 people and the other person brought 8 people. So you can still maybe go half and half, meaning after pay all expenses, divide profit. That's one way. The other way that I have done with my other friend, that we also did many retreats in Costa Rica and Marrakesh, is like you keep the money of the person you brought, right? So you brought 5 people, you make 5,000. I brought 10 people, I make 10,000. You keep the income after the expenses, you keep the profit after expenses of the person you brought, right? That's another model, let's say. All this must be in writing, because if it's not in writing, no matter if it's your best friend, it will lead to fight, drama, confusion. So even if it doesn't need to be a contract, it can be just a simple email that we all agree on that, right? And I also had some situations with best friend. We tried to do retreats together 3 times, and after 2 times,
This is not good for our friendship.
no, after 2 times she couldn't sell. So I wanted to do it with her because she's an amazing yoga teacher, and I, do a lot of things with her. But for whatever reason, she doesn't have that, sales marketing. So I brought 9 people to Peru, and she had 1. So I'm not going to go 50-50. I'm sorry, of course. And so in that case, what you can say is like, look, I will give you a nice commission for everybody you bring. I give you, $200 or something, so you can be, but you can't be anymore 50-50 because now it's clearly uneven. So I would say if the numbers are somehow similar, it's okay to go 50-50 because when you're in action, you're both there, right? So, but, just manage this in advance and clear, We did have someone that did a Mexico retreat with us that I couldn't go, so she went instead. And we told her, look, this is the rules. Like, you're going to keep the money of the person that you bring, because she already knew that she didn't have that many, so say, are you okay with that? The cost is for everybody. So she brought 2 people. So with the 2 people, the other partner needed to put money to pay for her cost. And then after the retreat, she wanted to get, I went there and I helped and I didn't got any money, right? And then she said, well, I couldn't even pay for your own hotel. I needed to pay for your hotel and your food. because selling 2 places was not enough to cover the expenses. So all this needs to be very clarified, because in the end of the day, she got a little disappointed. She got hurt, and I understand. You go there 5 days, no money.
Yeah.
Great time, no money. But this is what it
But
is.
she
You know?
went for free.
Yes.
So she got a free retreat.
Exactly.
So yeah, she was rewarded still for her.
What is it?
But
Yes.
still, I guess it's the perspective that you put.
The perspective is to make some luxury, to make some income. Although I love retreats because it's great. You're having a vacation with, you know, all these mindful people, and you're doing yoga with them, you're doing tours with them, boat rides, and we go to eat in nice places, and it's just great. And most of the times you become like family, because you spend so much time together and you share so much, and it's really beautiful. So yeah, so highly recommend for you to do retreats. Another thing is that you want to have the retreats planned like around 6 months in advance. First, because you need to get the reservations of the place that you're going, right? But I went to Brazil with my friend Rada, that is going to play Kirtan this Saturday with us. And we had a hard time getting in contact with the hotel, man. Like, we were calling, emailing, and then we needed to get the Skype to call the hotel because they don't have WhatsApp. Finally, we got the hotel, but we stayed 2 weeks to get in contact to the hotel. Say, okay, we want to reserve your rooms, man. Come on. How was that? Because usually they will give you a group rate, so you neither just book online. You need to say, hey, I want to book 10 rooms, or you know, whatever, 5 rooms double, and like that.
So you said 6 months in advance to start planning or to announce it to the crowd?
So just start planning, because it more or less take 1 month for you to put it together, right? 1 month you got the feedback from the hotel, right? And the tours and what you're going to do. So
Can I ask you something about when you contact the hotel? They want you to pay in advance.
deposits,
Um,
non-refundable.
so there is out of pocket for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of upfront costs.
Yeah, yeah, 1,000 here, not 500 there, for sure. Otherwise, there's no reservation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get more or less 1 month, right? You get all those things in places, the itinerary, let's say, you know, right? Your materials, the flyer, you know, different banners and blah, blah, blah. And then you launch, and then you have like 4 months of sale, right? Because also you want to give early bird, sign up in advance, that way you are free of stress, okay? You sold 5, 6, you know you're out of the red zone. That thing is paid, right? You get another 5, and now you're in a really good place. Because making 10 grand in 5 days,
Yeah.
it's
Where's that?
And you're having fun, you know, and you're helping people.
amazing.
Win.
Yeah.
So like, I was
Yeah, and then after that, you can even take 2 weeks for yourself. You don't even need to work.
Yeah.
Yes.
And again, brand doing something back to someone, selling them
It's
something,
amazing.
you know, selling something that weighs on your soul.
Yeah, it's great. It's like an amazing experience for everybody. I have so much fun. I love it, you know. But and also we have done like yogi prices. Well, let's say, you know, yeah, it's 2,200, you know, because we have more things and adding to that. But if you're a yoga teacher, maybe I can do just a little bit more than the cost. So, you know, maybe I give you, I don't know, $300 off, and you know, and then I give you commission. So you always, you know, play with that.
You give them commissions, like if they bring more people.
Yeah, like you refer me someone to Costa Rica, I give you a commission. And I have a friend one time, the other Yana, remember? The other Yana, she referred me 4 people to Peru in another year. Then I'm like, man, I gotta give you like $600 in commission. She's like, I'm coming.
Yeah, that you might as well.
She's like, I'm coming. And she got a free retreat. She just paid for her airfare, you know, and she came for free. So that was great, you know, so always it has a way to collaborate,
That's
right?
nice.
Yeah.
What did you say? It takes a month to plan all this and you should announce it 5 months kind of ahead? So
Yeah,
they
because
take
people need
vacation.
to take the vacation. They also, you gotta buy the airfare like maybe 2 months in advance. You
Because
gotta
some
do
people
breaks.
they want to save money.
Yeah.
Right.
And then do you offer people payment plans or no?
Yeah, deposit, slowly start paying. For sure, you know,
And you don't have people not paying you.
they don't come.
So they need to be paid, it needs to be paid off before we take off. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
because she paid in advance.
No, I agree. I'm just asking, what should I demand? And then you do sales usually before, not the like late bird or whatever, but the early bird.
Yeah,
Up
yeah.
to like what, like a month or 2?
2 if you can, 2 if it's possible, yeah. Okay, so then, the next step, let's put another one. So then it can be like, you know, you can have a YouTube channel, like I have this one right now. So, in that, you can, you know, now you can have, online courses. So you can open a YouTube channel, it's free, and let's say you do 7 days, 7 different meditations. One for each chakra. And then you record yourself the same way that I'm recording myself right now, right? A live video or just a video. And you will dump that video in a hiding playlist, not public, right? And then you give them, you know, tastes of what look like in video as well, right? So then they go there and then they can have a mini video and say, if you want to continue, if you want to continue, you pay $99.99 and you got 7 classes that you can access anytime, you know, or even cheaper, $19.99. But if you have 20 people buying the $20 7 meditations pre-recorded you already did, maybe you are in Costa Rica learning surf, and all of a sudden you got $300 because through your Instagram and through your marketing,
TikTok is where it's at now.
TikTok, yeah. Now all these people got, you know, this pre-record. So you can create hiding playlists. So when the person buys it, then you will give access. I think you give access through their email. So they can access all these classes, right? You can give the 7 in 1, so you can send 1 a day. I don't know how you will do it. Just give access, and now they pay and they can have access right there. And then in that way, you can do anything online, right? So that can be your YouTube channel or online classes on demand or online class. Okay?
Yeah, it's kind of like there is this platform called Udemy. It's Udemy.
Mhm.
I highly recommend it. It has millions of classes on all topics,
On
and
anything, yeah.
it's really cheap. Like they discount it, and you can learn in your own time.
What is it called?
Udemy, Udemy.
I gotta put on the WhatsApp.
I'll put it on
Maybe I put it
Yeah. Like a realtor one, like buying a house 101, first time home buyers. And they just put it on there and it's $10 and they just been making $10. Yeah, Udemy. And they just make $10 every like few days. Like the movie, they put it in.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can do all this,
Anything.
right?
Yeah.
Another tab that you will have will be media. Media can be related with images of yourself, videos of yourself. And another thing that is another homework, I don't know how many homeworks you have already, but this is another one. And this homework is for you to write an article of yoga and 3 dots. Yoga and cancer, yoga and depression, yoga and prenatal, yoga and nature, yoga and Ayurveda, yoga and lower back pain, yoga and nutrition, yoga and addiction, yoga and oh, that's a big one. Doesn't matter what, just write about something. So I will pass you some. So basically, when you write an article, then you can maybe send to some of these magazines. You will find the editor, like even Yoga Journal, and you will tell them, hey, I have a brand new article. And they want articles that haven't been published. That's one of their requirements. Okay, have anybody exposed this article? No, you will be the first one. And that's how they like to have. So I will pass you some that I have done. And you can have some ideas of what to do. This is the same one.
Oh, you're so pretty.
This was one the studio just opened. Then I did this one for this magazine for California. Hi, by Victoria Bernazzi. And then I sent it again here, and I just switched some words. I just kind of like, yeah, it's new, and I gonna.
And they all look.
Yeah. So these are ideas, life of beauty. So what happens is when you have articles, and you start showing up, you know, on, yeah, just look at the article, otherwise you will read the whole magazine. Just look at the article and pass it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is look, this is Yoga Journal from Spain,
Wow.
and I am doing Tantra Yoga, Tantra and Bandhas, which a little bit with it here.
Victoria, I'm very
Thank
happy
you for
for
getting
you.
it.
You've had such an amazing journey.
That when I was younger, then I got a little tired. Oh, I got hired by the Publix of Santo Domingo of República Dominicana.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah, and so they did like this. So they're like their Publix. They're very big. And so they did a promotion. If you spend more than $25 in their market, you will get a free yoga class in this wellness day. And they hired me. They flew me. They flew me a hotel. And that was the larger class I ever taught. It was 3,000 people.
Wow.
And then
How do you even?
Wow.
no, I didn't know what was happening. I said, they contact. I'm like, yeah, I would love to teach, I would love to go there and, I said, we pay for all your expenses and how much you charge. And I said, well, usually I charge $100 for a session. So if you're going to be using me half a day, let's say 4 hours, maybe I can charge $500 a day. And I said, oh, that's fine. I'm like, okay. And so they hire me for 3 days. They pay me $1,500. They put me in flight, nice hotel, like all this. But that, what I didn't know, when I got there, I went to 4 TV shows, 5 radio stations, and I came up in all the magazines of the country. And I was like, oh my God, I'm famous.
How did this start?
Yeah, how did you reach them?
No, I didn't reach. They reached me. I don't know. I should reach them again and say, hey guys, would you like to do one again? So yeah. So then you can. So on this media on your website, you will write articles and maybe you can, place them there. Oops. Place them there that that you were there. Here. So I am with all these people from.
3,000 people, wow.
Yeah.
5,000? Wow.
I know. No, I have pictures.
What country was this? I didn't hear.
Oh, this is yoga for runners. Look.
The one that you taught all those people was.
No, the bigger. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
they are.
no, this was huge. I mean, this was in a huge convention hotel. TVs and mic and stage, and I mean, I mean, it was huge.
Oh, wow.
And I was there and I was so
exciting.
happy. Yeah, and I brought my student. My student, she did teacher training and she opened a beautiful center there. So I also involved her. This is L. I don't understand anything because it's in French. But here we are in Espanol way, doing yoga. And
Elle is a big famous.
Yeah, it was huge. It's like
yeah, so you know,
Who are these three that keep showing up?
huh?
Who are these three people that keep showing up in different magazines?
No, it's the same magazine.
They just gave me the same
Yeah.
ones.
Wow.
So this is another, this is from Broward, from Fort Lauderdale, and then, you know, Studio Highlight, and there I am. Yeah, those are the same ones, because when I went out there, they made me, you know, they made me extra copies.
You had bangs?
I had that, I can put the bangs again. Yeah, so here's another one, this is beautiful. Corpo Sano, Mente Sana. This is on the cover of Natural Awakenings, also this is a magazine that is from Florida. So you can advertise and, you know, say, hey, I have beautiful peaches, you need a cover.
My dad just.
So here, you like small one, you know, the small ads, or maybe you can sell an article. But basically, this is the method. You will have an article, and then you say, hey, I have this about, you know, yoga and this, and do you would like to publish? And then they may be published. And then when they publish, then now you are in Yoga Magazine, Yoga Journal, L, or whatever. And it's a little bit, what it gives you? It gives you a little bit of credibility.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Yeah, you know, and then you show up on your website, like you are here and there, and like that, so. Okay, so those are some ideas. And then after this media, you also will have one that's basically called, you know, in the media you put all your articles, all your with your whatever famous people, all pictures about your events, also has shots of yourself, pictures of yourself doing yoga. They want to see you, right? And then after that is going to be contact us, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, and then in the website is going to be link with your Instagram, link. Another thing that you might want to have is a professional Facebook page. It's all together now. You manage Instagram through Facebook. You can schedule posts in advance. In order to be slave of the phone, because that's not good, you can, every Monday, you sit 4 hours and you schedule everything for the whole week. So then you are off the, you know, social media. You go there and you do 5 posts in the morning, 5 stories, and you always want to do like this. And this is one of the things that we are not doing right now because again we are a little bit short of stuff, but you will do content, buy. Content, buy. You know, tutorial, you know, pranayama for this, yoga for that, recipe for this, and I am teaching this special class, come by register. So you gotta give that valuable information before they purchase anything from you, right? But then has 2 ways to do marketing. So the website is done. Next. So you need to write an article. This you need to send via email, not handwriting. Yeah, you know, I don't do this anymore. I'm just a little lazy now. I prefer to be with you guys, but yeah, definitely, you know, maybe I gotta get motivated to sit down and write. And you can definitely do, you can promise yourself that you can do 1 article a month.
Yep.
Because you're all very knowledgeable. You just need to create time.
Yeah.
You know, this is, it's like discipline. Otherwise, so many ideas. and nothing happens. You
Yeah.
don't get that accomplished. You know, you need to sit down and get whatever full moon energy, and that's the day. You know, the other day I told you I went to sleep late. I worked, man. It was like 5-6 hours on that computer, making the canvas flyers, uploading, talking to the teachers, talking to the people in Peru, blah, 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 blah. You know, good time.
But even on the level that you're at, if you don't get someone to do it for you,
Yes, yes, you can, but just, you know, some things is better, you know, to do it yourself, yeah. But yeah, definitely delegate is important. That's why, like, you can do your website, for example, but you can also pay $300 and have someone else do it for you. So delegate is important when you're going to be an entrepreneur and manage your own business, because you can't do everything. Some things you do need to delegate. Yeah.
Do they pay you to have your article in the magazine?
No,
No.
no, just for expose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But through that, you will get a few
Of
followers
course.
and
Of
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more, you know, nowadays, you know, Facebook and Instagram and maybe TikTok, you can get revenue. People following, think it's cool, and then making a purchase from your holistic service. You know, so definitely is something there. So yeah, so the website's done, business card is done. So what are the other ways? So how are the ways for us to get the business, right? Because now we have all these products and so on. So that's another reason that you need to write articles, because in your website, the robots of Google and Yahoo, they are reading content. They don't see the front of your website, they read the back of the website. So if you want to sell Reiki and chakras, you need to have articles about chakra and Reiki, and in a way that you put keyword terms like Miami chakra balancing is offered, blah blah blah, and you put that inside the article. So that when people are doing search, the robot will match with that art website up. So without that, it's like your website is invisible. So your website must show on the search. It's called search engine optimization. You can also pay someone to do that for you. They will put all these keyword terms on the back end. But articles will definitely help. Another one is PPC, is pay per click, is an ad.
Yeah.
Google has this. Google is bigger than Instagram, by the way. Google, you know, so you can pay ad there for your, you know, first 10 students get half off. I don't know, you know. So first way to get business is online marketing. You pay ads on Facebook, you pay ads on Instagram, you put all this online, and you will kind of fish someone there. You can do it yourself, learn, or you can pay someone, a freelancer, for you, maybe better. Right? And you can put $10 a day, $5 a day, whatever. The other way is what I call old school. It's like you will get to know your demographics. And then you will start offering that business cards that you have everywhere you go and trying to make co-marketing, like co-partner with other places. So for example, all neighborhoods in absolutely all cities have chambers of commerce. Here in Miami, we have a bunch. We have Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. We have Miami Chamber of Commerce. We have Holistic Chamber of Commerce. We have Spanish Chamber of Commerce. Those are all businesses that you should be participating, visiting. They do gatherings. And on the gatherings, you also need to be very sharp, quick. Don't be tamasic. When I go to those gatherings, your goal is to meet as many people as you can, shake everybody's hand, give your business cards to everybody, and most importantly, get everybody business cards. So if I go to the Chamber of Commerce here with the mayor, commissioners, all the businesses that are, explaining what they're offering and gathering, boring. But then I emailed them the next day and said, it was really nice to meet you. Please consider to do a wellness day at your employees, or please come get a free class for you and your a guest for you to come and try the school. The emails will go to a database because we also send newsletters, emails. Actually, I sent one today, and if you did not receive, please. Oh, so you have double R's. I made it yesterday at midnight, so please value that. But so I put a Shiva mantra and I put a community thing there. But anyhow, yeah, you need to move our email from your spam to inbox. So you need to search for info@synergyyoga.org and then move it to inbox if you didn't receive it. But you will gather emails, and this is another way that you can create funnels for sales, right? So you visit chambers of commerce. Where else you can visit? Healthy places that sell healthy food, chocolate store, juices, and you can say, you can go, I don't know, Mango Tree that sells all that delicious food, and say, hey, do you want to do like a free meditation once a month? People come before you open for breakfast. I guide free meditation, only 20 minutes, and that's it. Maybe they say, oh, that sounds good, no problem, yeah. So then you will be featured through this juice place that is quite popular. People will come, will get your free meditation, and then you will get all those followers, all those emails, and maybe you get some privates. Eventually, you don't want to do anything for free. In the beginning, you want to do for free to start getting some exposure. But eventually, if you want me to go to your hotel, you will need to pay for my service because that's my work, right? But you can definitely create this kind of community events to get yourself, more volume. And so in your neighborhood, you can create one community class, just once a week, any park, and you can say free by donation, so you don't need to get into the permits and anything like that.
Yeah.
Right? I told you that I create a PowerPoint presentation and I went to the city and they gave me consent. They actually put me on payroll, and they were paying me pretty good. They were paying me like $70 per class. And I had 3 students. And then eventually I had 100 students. That's why you cannot get this motivated in the beginning. Teachers, they come, oh, my class is so weak, oh, my class is so weak. Die. And you need to do that. It's authentic and they will return. Not if you give up before the time, then they will not return because you're not there. Right? So you need to wait for some time. Also, another thing that we have in our neighborhoods is the schools, right? So in schools, you will need to do the kids yoga training to teach kids, which I also recommended, but the schools also have a lot of stressed out parents. All the moms that cannot sleep. The Parents Association. So you can go to the school, the principal, and say, hey, I have a proposal. I'm a yoga teacher. I work with wellness. Do you think, how do you feel having a class once a week? Maybe can I give a proposal to you to propose to the parents? And they say maybe we can do, $50 or $5 per parent, whatever is greater, and see how that goes. And I also had talked to different universities. Miami University are very stressed out about exams and some suicidal thoughts because parents are paying university and if they don't pass the test, they get very much like pressure. So their universities contact us, so they can alleviate pressure of passing or not passing tests. So it's a lot of anxiety, right? So it has so many places, the park, the chambers of commerce, the schools, the shopping stores, the juice place, the health store places, any type of farmer's market. You can opportunities for you to share yoga out there. And this is, you know, how you can also get some business. Another thing that I have done that I'm about to do it again here is do like a mail out. And when I was launching myself as a teacher in the same Vista print, I did the business card and I did a postcard. And in the postcard, in the front was the benefits of yoga. Keeps you healthy from the inside out, release lower back pain, release anxiety, improves the sleep, makes you strong, build immune, right? And I put like a mom and a daughter back to back on the picture. And in the other side, I put with this, well, you know, first round was free, and then the second I put half off. And because I didn't have money, I did something illegal. So I got my bicycle, and with the postcard, I just placed this on the houses, and I don't know how I enter on Fisher Island and Star Island, putting my half off. They don't even need it. But I'm hustler. No business is going to fall on your lap. You need to go and look for business.
Yeah.
You need to look for business. Because it's very easy, nothing worked for me, and there's no promotion. You need to have that fire. You need to have that hunger and ambition.
Yeah.
Because if you make that 10 grand and then you can go to Bali for 10 days, life is great, man. So, you know, money, it is a beautiful energy if you use it with the right frequency, you know, why not? So man, that's what I did. I got my bicycle, I got that $10 postcard, and I just put it in all the juice places, all the chakra places. I mean, everywhere. I had it in my car, in Coconut Grove, in Aventura. People start calling.
Amazing.
People start calling. So everybody can do this. This is free. But it's illegal. So if you put in some house,
What part of that was illegal? The houses?
you can put
Now you cannot put mail if you
Don't pay the postage.
Exactly.
Oh, like you were putting in people's mailboxes.
in their home, in their doors, you know, they put like this
So
is
you
like
can do
business.
that.
Yeah.
But in businesses, you can do that to
In
businesses?
business you can do it. In
Okay.
business you can do it, you know. I will definitely look for some karma yogi to exchange your classes to do it for us as well here. We have done that many times. The students that want to practice yoga, they cannot pay. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna pay, but I need some help. So, you know.
Fix my car.
Yeah, that's my card. You get all the classes you want, no problem. You know, it's a win-win in a way.
Yeah, read that one.
You can trade work, like,
Ah.
yeah? Like you give some free yoga class and someone will distribute the flyer for you in town or something. So-
Do you have flyers now that I would take flyers and distribute for free for you?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
like 5 left
Yeah.
because I'm trying to finish the next one, but yeah, I will love. for you to
Anytime,
do
I
that.
would love to help. I mean, any of us, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. I super appreciate that so much. But that's what I did, you know, and I had, you know, I was 25 and I was working in 2 jobs and I'm like, I don't want to do, I was working in a law firm for immigration, I also did real estate, and then I was working at Pizza Place, and then I was working at night, then let me tell you, things went Scarface point, because, you know, I was working at night sometimes until 7 a.m., so it was not easy. So I was like, I'm not going to do any of this. So when I started yoga and I got my teacher training, I was like, that's it, you know? I did the PowerPoint for the mayor, I got the consent for the park, I got my bicycle, I put my invisible clothes, and I went to Star Island. I put it on the house. But the other way to do it is you go to USP, the post office website, and they have something called door-to-door or direct mail. and you get that postcard, whatever you create, half off first time, or even give maybe first time free, I don't know, like, you know, get yourself some, you know, contact with people, you know, or present this flyer only, you know, $19 first class, value 100, whatever you want to put it in there. And then you go, it's like a map tool on this website for the USPS post office, and you select the neighborhood, and then it's going to tell you how much it is. So let's say the postcard is half of this magazine, it's going to cost you $300 more or less to print, and then you see how much is your budget. Maybe you just select 5 condos, and that's $400, and that's your budget.
Buildings, you mean?
Buildings, yeah.
Okay.
Condos.
Now, okay.
Condos. Yeah.
I'm like, our apartment, wasn't nothing.
Yeah, apartment buildings. But hey, if you got some of the mansions, they don't have problem paying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can select rich areas. Don't go select over town, you know, no one can barely pay their rent. So you need to select areas that they have income, and then you can, you know, send it, mail it out, and you're done. So, you know, and the last one here that I will mention is about the corporate. So the corporate, you can just call the companies and say, I offer wellness for business. I, you know, have been on the corporate world for a long time, and now I understand that it needs to go hand in hand, so you can have productivity at your work. When is a good time? Who can I speak with? You want to make a meeting, you want to make an appointment, you want to get an appointment, you want to sit with someone, and that's one way to do it. Will save you some time. But also just go to one of the financial districts and go up in a building and go floor by floor and get yourself some of these materials and say, I offer wellness business services for companies, and I'm willing to give you a free sample. Who I need to speak with, and some human resource person will be there. And don't be discouraged if you get 10 no's. No, we're not interested. No, one will say yes. And if you get 3 clients, you're good, because you start with something. Nothing is going to happen sitting on your couch. You need to walk the street. You need to go there and visit this business and make the phone calls and be. You should be very proper, you know? Send email, follow up, who is the person, make an appointment, and dress kind of Tulum, elegant yoga clothes. You know, don't go office clothes because you're not office, but you know, elegant. And then you want to have all your materials. Sometimes I have, you know, a folder with your logo, with all those services that are on your website already, like a flyer, with like a proposal, and yeah, sky is the limit.
I have some questions.
Okay.
How is the approach? Because if you go there and they see that you don't experience, you have like 3 followers or something like that, because they looking for somebody with experience, or they accept anybody?
I don't think that will matter. I think what matters if you're confident.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go there and you say, hi, I am a wellness advocate and I offer wellness and team up for companies, who can I speak with? It's not even doubt that you know what you're talking about. Here's my materials. When can I make it? When do you have time? Can we meet now? It's only a few minutes, I explain to you. And if you know, again, I'm against free things at this point in my life, but, you know, it will put your 1 feet there.
Yeah.
Give them a sample.
In the beginning, it's important.
Yeah, give them a
When you
sample.
need a sample, like, what do you mean, like, okay, let's have a seat for like 15 minutes, and I'll walk you through meditation, or like, you do a whole free class? Like, oh, okay, because I'm like, by sample, what do you mean, okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't promote this, but if you're desperate for business and you want to get some clients and say, hey, hey, let me prove myself to you and let me come and give you a sample for your employees. It only will be 20 minutes, a sample.
And then.
So you come, they sit, you do some breathing,
Yeah.
do some stretches, maybe a guided meditation, and then the feedback will be definitely positive, and then everybody, and then, maybe the boss will sign up a package with you.
What are the packages that you try to get with businesses? Because like I feel like as a nurse, like the hospitals usually do like Nurses Week. They'll do something special, but it's like once a year. So like,
Yeah.
what are these businesses actually signing up for? Are they signing up for once a month or like?
You try to push once a month. I think
Okay.
that, that is minimum. I'm working with the bank, and they told me once a month, and then they said 1 week of the month, a whole week, every day. So I'm like, okay. So you need to, according to what they already have planned, but I think once a month is great.
I have another question about the retreat. Since somebody got sick, do you have any contract or something they sign that waive you?
A waiver.
Yeah, that they waive you about all the problems can occur during the trip because
A
it
waiver.
can happen everything. I mean, it's very dangerous.
They release us all
So they
responsibilities.
sign a waiver.
If they cancel their flight,
Yeah.
if it has a pandemic there, if they got bite by a mosquito, anything that
Exactly.
happened is not our
So
fault.
everything is on a waiver, in writing, and they sign for it.
Yeah, and then sometimes we recommend, sometimes we ask them to give us their health insurance contact.
Copy of the insurance.
Sometimes they have travel, insurance, and they can give us the contact, something happened, I call them. But nothing ever happened in 12 years of retreat, nothing. Just,
Yeah, just to know. the
it's
way
just
you
this
drank
of
too much,
meat
yeah.
and alcohol. I had the same guy that go because, he really connect with my energy, and he couldn't go to Machu Picchu because we were to go up and we were super high in the mountains, and we are very clear, have a light dinner, go to sleep. I mean, we serve dinner, and it's vegetarian, vegan, so we have a light dinner and go to sleep early because tomorrow we're waking up at 5 to go up to Machu Picchu mountain. And he had a bunch of meat by himself and his girlfriend, and he got terribly sick, and he could not see Machu Picchu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another question, sorry. Very general. When you book in advance for a retreat, and you offer this vegan or vegan meals, they are all 3 meals, and
Yeah.
is somebody that is already included in the hotel that cooks, or you find somebody else coming to cook? How does it work?
Oh, it depends. Like if it's a hotel, sometimes they have buffets.
Okay.
And we cannot control that. Some people might even have some eggs or something. If it's like a house, we sometimes hire a chef.
No.
Patricia and I, we did a retreat in Mexico and we cook. And we were like, maybe not again. Because of 15 people and we were cooking for everybody. And then I did another retreat in Mexico. I did many retreats in Mexico, and with another teacher 7 years ago, and went to Airbnb, got a house for 15 people, you know what I mean? And then I hired a chef, a woman, delicious, so she was our maid and cook, and she stayed with us, right? And so I brought a bunch of vegan cheese from America, and I said, whatever you do with cheese, use this cheese.
That's nice.
That was easy.
Yeah.
And it was great,
That's nice.
I've got quinoa, I'm like, here, some quinoa, some vegan cheese.
Another thing that I don't know in the US, if you open a company in Florida, you cannot work in New York, for example.
Oh, that I don't know,
I have no idea. how
I'm not
does it
sure.
work.
because the state of Florida has its own
Yeah, it's
regulations
on
and companies based
taxation.
here.
Yeah.
So New Jersey is other states, so
Yeah.
New York sometimes.
I was curious because my planning is to live off and on. I mean, 6 months here, 6
Oh,
months there.
nice, yeah.
And maybe keep different things, but in this case, I
I can have two companies.
Yeah, the 150 opens, not like breaking the bank with
don't
that.
know.
I will divide liability.
Yeah.
Oh, liability insurance, is there like, liability insurance that you recommend for us to have?
Yeah, when you, finish your payments, get your certificate,
Okay, then.
you go to Yoga Alliance, and you will need to
Register, right?
register them, right? And they will give you some discounts for yoga insurance. And maybe you will pay like $80 a year. I think I pay $110 a year, and that's covers like $1 million in whatever bill. So that's plenty. And then let's say you go to teach one of the hotels here, Sagamore. You need to add the address of Sagamore inside your insurance, so they cover that location. And that's like $10. Every time you add an address, like you wanna cover the place that you're teaching, let's say, then it's $10 and you add that
So
address.
every time you go to teach at a specific location, you have to add that place, so it doesn't just cover you in
It
general?
covers you. I don't do that. If they might ask you that.
Oh, okay.
So you must give your insurance with our address.
Okay.
Let's say you go to a very fancy condo.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my building requires that of like any like
Yeah,
movers
it's
and
$10.
stuff that come.
But you don't need to do that for privates, correct? You don't need to add their address.
No. You just get insurance and that's it.
And you said
And
Yoga
cost?
Alliance,
Yeah.
it's $80 per year, and then every year $80 you pay to be in Yoga
Yeah.
Alliance. Okay, got it.
No. Yoga insurance. We're talking about insurance.
Oh no, I mean
Yoga
Yoga Alliance.
Alliance is way more, and I don't completely agree with Yoga Alliance. Now they become a little better, like actually regulating a little bit more. But there's basically an association that is worldwide, that is all countries accept that okay, is a regulation of yoga, but it's just a money maker. Because it's like around 250 per teacher, and they're not really checking if the teachers know what they're doing, you know? And they also allow online yoga training, which they send emails like, oh, you can do it online, but I don't, it's not the same.
No, I
So-
tried it, it was not,
Yeah.
it didn't work for
Yeah.
me, I was like.
So I don't understand how Yoga Alliance work. You have to register yourself in every class you make,
No. And every year you pay like, I
You
think
pay
250
just
and
to be registered.
to be registered.
And
Yeah,
that's it.
that's it. Yeah.
But what we were talking about, she was saying, once we register, Yoga Alliance will present us with insurance companies
No,
that we
that
can
is
sign
still
up
the part.
for.
I
Yeah,
was
like
saying that
deals,
it
like
doesn't
they have
work.
a deal with Lululemon,
Yeah.
deals with that, and then you get like discounts.
I think we get discounts at Lululemon too, 25%, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's worth it to go to a
Yeah,
Alliance,
my question
to
too.
be registered? Is
Are you
worth it,
registered?
or it's just to be in the register?
It's just to say that you are a Yoga Alliance registered teacher.
But
right?
you are? Oh, no, I
She couldn't have the school, like, well, yeah, she
Yeah.
couldn't have the school if she was, the school needs to be
And you
Ah, so you
registered in
cannot
Yoga
go to
Alliance.
school if you're not in Yoga Alliance?
Well, you can, and then you're not part of Yoga Alliance, and if you go to teach in London or Bali or Dubai, how they can see your certification is
Ah, okay.
So they're the
you're not
biggest
part
one.
of any association, let's say.
They're the biggest association?
Yeah,
You will recommend them?
no, that's what I'm
They're
trying to
just,
say.
they're
It's
just
just
the only
they
one.
are,
I
they have
get-
like
there's
a
not only
name.
one,
It's
there's
the
multiple.
It's just
worldwide.
the
But
name.
there's multiple.
But with that license, that registration, you can teach yoga pretty much anywhere in the world.
Okay, well, you can teach it
No, why don't
without, it just gives you the
You
credibility.
can't, but
right?
for example,
Right,
my understanding
exactly that, that's the
it
point.
certifies you, right?
No, it just
No,
gives you a
it
little
certifies
credibility.
Yeah.
But I am under this association that is a worldwide association. That's all it is. And it gives you credibility.
Yeah.
If I wanna go, if you wanna apply for a job in Ibiza teaching yoga, you can say, I am a Yoga Alliance registered teacher, right? But that doesn't really mean that everybody that is part of this association are actually good teachers. Actually, a lot of the good teachers say Yoga Alliance doesn't even they care about
Yeah.
memberships.
So as long as you pay, you have registered. It doesn't matter how long you have teaching.
Yeah. Now they, because they receive so much critics, now you need to have continuing education.
It's the same with nursing.
Yeah, so we offer like all the trainings that we do here. We have continuing education. So you will go to Yoga Alliance and you upload that you did training of 24 hours of Vedic Thai body work. You did 12 hours of sound healing therapy. You did 10 hours of trauma-informed training. And that's how you're also going to renew your license. Because before you just pay. And then the teachers, it's like, yeah, you pay the teacher. No, but it's not about just the money. It's about actually knowing what are you teaching.
It's good that they're.
So now they become a little bit more serious and, you know.
And with continuous education, like every year or every third year?
Or 2 years?
I think every year you need to have some hours.
Something,
Yeah.
okay, wow.
But who can give you continued credits? Just the Yoga Alliance certified teacher or any place?
All our trainings are continuing education.
Yeah, but like because you are under them. But can I go get some grandma to teach you about herbs and call that continued
No, you
education?
have to
No,
do
it
this.
has
Or
to
go to
be-
India and
they
go
have
to
to be
India?
approved.
No, they will say,
If
it
they
will
have
say,
to
it will
approve
say, we
under-
give you the credit, like it will say, you know, we are giving you the
On the
credit.
door, she has the Yoga Alliance. It says
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
There's
So they should
stickers.
only buy a pic.
It was great.
To be part of the association to give you association credits, otherwise you're not.
Yeah. So, but for example, a teacher that works for you that gives the credit, or let's say Lizzie, the older lady that was doing yin yoga, she gave us continued credits, right? But she doesn't have to necessarily work for a school. She just needs to be herself a yoga.
Right.
So I could, no, I'm trying to, but I could give her credits.
You need to be a 500 hours yoga teacher
Okay.
with some hours of teaching and some hours of experience to get to that level. You need to be approved like that. Yeah. So no, it's just.
So is there any other things you have to become a 500 in order to unlock some other benefits or things you can do?
So for
Just
nursing,
if you want to give
every
teaching, you need to be
education
more
education
serious.
thing that we do
Yeah.
has a value.
And 500 is 200 and then
And
300.
so then
Yeah.
it's a certificate of whatever.
And it needs to be in the same discipline.
Yeah, the same lineage. Because it's not the same to study, you know, Iyengar yoga is one training, Kundalini is another training, and meditation is another training.
So
So if you
ours,
do 200 hours of Iyengar, and then you do 300 hours of Kundalini, then you don't get the 500.
so it needs to be something by Andre Lapa, or something that's Hatha Vinyasa.
Yeah, Hatha Vinyasa. I did, with Andrea Lapa, I did 3 times the 200 hours, because it was so like mind-blowing, all the asanas for the joints, mobilities, I was like, wow. And then I did another 300, and then I did advanced training. So don't think about like, I need to get this amount of certifications. What you need to do is just keep studying. And sometimes in Yoga Alliance, like let's say they are not registered with them, you can also say they're not registered with them, and you can, you know, kind of like give them their address and their information, and see, you know, that is a legit institution, and then they can maybe approve those as well.
Is it, I mean, I assume that you do like what you feel is right when you hire teachers, but my understanding, at least going into it, was that if you are not registered with Yoga Alliance, you basically can't teach at places that are Yoga Alliance.
I don't care at all.
You don't care, okay.
I care about you know it or you don't know it. Because you can have, like I
Because I was
just
told
said,
it was like
you
a
can
hard
have
no.
10 certificates,
Yeah.
half of them are done online,
Yeah.
half of them you
You
did
paid
like
for.
7 years ago, and you
Yeah.
actually don't
Yeah.
know it anymore. I will have a lot of teachers from Bikram and other systems that they retake the training because they just don't feel ready.
Por
So to be a Yoga Alliance registered school, if there is such thing, you can hire people who are not Yoga Alliance registered.
I can hire who I want.
And it will not affect the status
No.
of the school.
No.
You can technically hire someone who doesn't have official training.
I will not.
You of course, but just
Right.
if your daughter, learned yoga, for example, for 20 years and she doesn't have a certificate,
She will not be able to teach.
no?
No, because you need to do teacher training to teach.
It's the same as personal training. Like you can
Yeah.
be an amazing bodybuilder,
Yeah,
right?
I know,
Like,
but you
and
don't
how
have
does
to
it-
teach.
but if you don't have
Yeah.
certification, you will not be a personal
So
trainer.
one thing stays, the other things to teach.
So things you do like in India,
Like
like
anything
continued
else
education.
with
Of course they do in real life, but not according to them.
They do, they give you certifications.
What they do?
Oh yeah, India is mother of yoga. They have plenty of schools and they have universities of yoga. Yeah, they give lots of certifications, no
Can
problem.
I ask
They
you
just don't agree with Yoga Alliance all the time.
Can I just ask you a little bit of advice, I guess, like for me with the nursing, like how to present that with, like you said, on your marketing, on like what you have to offer, like everything else, like restorative, corporate, and Reiki and this, and so how do I phrase, like, I've been a registered nurse for 14 years, like, how do I make that part of my identity, I guess?
Your biography, you mean?
Not my biography, but like part of one of the things that I bring to the table. For example, like what I offer
No, you
is
know
my
about
healthcare
medicine.
knowledge.
Yeah,
You know about medicine.
you care about people.
Yeah, you are a caregiver already.
But like, how would I put that on my card, for example? Like just write registered nurse?
Yeah, I mean, I would, why not? Registered nurse, yoga teacher, like it's all really